We all have one, either one of our family members or someone at church or someone at work. You know who I'm talking about, the sugar pusher. I'm Dr. Ken Berry, a family physician, and I'm going to give you 7 easy things that you can say to your friendly neighborhood sugar pusher the next time they offer you that homemade dessert or that fruit juice smoothie or that alcoholic beverage, because I know that you're trying to improve your health and the things that they're offering you are not going to help you at all. Now, many sugar pushers are very nice and loving people. They don't mean to harm you. They just don't know better. So you have to keep that in mind when you're picking from these 7 answers that you're going to answer the sugar pusher with from now on. So answer number 1 is to just simply take it and sit it down and then don't eat it. Or take the alcoholic drink, sit it down and don't drink it, or carry it around if you're at a party, but don't drink it. This is probably the easiest, most non-confrontational strategy. Now, you might get some kickback later on when they discover that you have not eaten their handmade heirloom family tradition snickerdoodle cake. You can deal with that then. Tip number 2 is to say, no thank you, and just stick there. Just stop with that. No thank you. And so in a family situation, this is a great way to ferret out whether you have people who have inappropriate boundaries with you, because when one adult says to another adult, no thank you, that should be the end of it. And if they're busy trying to convince you and all the reasons why you should and how you're going to hurt grandma's feelings if you don't, you may discover that there are some boundary problems in your family if you use this second strategy. Tip number 3 is to say something like, it looks delicious, but I'm all set, or I'm stuffed. I couldn't eat another bite. I'm here to be with my family and my friends, or I'm here for the business meeting, or I'm here to worship. I'm not here to, eat sweets. Now, this might bring on more conversation, so this might not be the one you want to use if you're just wanting to end the matter. The next one is, and I like this one a lot, is to say when you're offered that piece of family tradition, chocolate pie or whatever, just say, oh, I just found out I have a food sensitivity to sugar or to grains, wheat, rice, oats, corn, or to vegetable seed oils. And so that could cause a flare-up. Now, any polite individual who you tell that to, that'll be the end of the matter. There'll be no discussion. They'll be like, oh, I didn't know, I didn't realize, I'm sorry. This is how people treat alcoholics when they find out that they're an alcoholic and they just offered them the drink. They're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize. I'll never do that again. And so if you really don't want to have any kind of discussion about your why, you can use that one. Another one, maybe a step stronger, is, oh, I'm sorry, I can't eat that. I found out I'm allergic to sugar or to grains or to vegetable seed oils or to highly processed foods or to added chemicals, preservatives, ingredients, artificial colors, artificial dyes, whatever it happens to be. Now, again, any civil person, that'll be the end of the discussion. They'll apologize and they'll take their nasty sugar poison dessert somewhere else. But some people may want to ask you questions about this and say, well, oh my God, what happens when you eat wheat, rice, oats, and corn? What happens? And what I always tell them is, oh, if I eat sugar, grains, or vegetable seed oils, it causes me to swell in the belly, which is true. Short-term, long-term swelling. If I keep eating it, I'll swell up. But for many of us with sugar addiction, carb addiction, you need to have one of these 7 tips at the ready so that you can turn away that sugar pusher, hopefully without hurting their feelings. Another great strategy, and this can be true or it cannot be true, that's up to you. You can say, oh my gosh, I just found out I was just diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or with pre-diabetes or with hyperglycemia or with hyperinsulinemia or high blood pressure or fatty liver, or I've just been officially diagnosed as obese. That kind of food makes it worse, not better. Again, any sane and civil person, that should be the end of the conversation. Only that pushy aunt or your senile grandmother or your evil mother-in-law is going to push the issue. And so if they do and say, well, what do you mean you're type 2 diabetic and you can't eat sugar? That's not true. To which you would reply, because obviously they've stepped over a boundary there. That's none of their business. That's a personal medical diagnosis. If they say something like that, you could reply with something like, oh, I'm sorry, are you a doctor? You get to choose how confrontational you are with these different strategies. Another good thing to reply with is, I've improved my health with a proper human diet, and that's not on the proper human diet. Now, you might say this if you're a tribe member and you're really wanting to spur some conversation about what exactly is a proper human diet. That's always an option. Now, this is my favorite, and there was a friend of mine on Twitter who actually used this strategy, and I thought it was brilliant. He went to a gathering of some sort, and they offered him a big piece of Boston cream pie, and he said, no, thank you. And they kind of pushed a little bit like, oh, you're going to hurt Aunt Gertrude's feelings if you don't eat this. And he pulls out his phone and he says, let me show you a picture of what I used to look like. And most people, when they see your before and after, with your after sitting there looking them in the face, they'll be done with that conversation and they will look for a rock to climb under. So again, you can be as confrontational or as non-confrontational as you want to be with any of these 7 responses. You can be as eager to teach or as eager to end the conversation as you choose. It's your choice. So depending on the situation, depending on your mood, depending on your current level of knowledge about a proper human diet, you get to pick between these 7 and how confrontational you want to be with them. How much conversation do you want to spur? How many questions do you want them to ask? You can actually tailor all of these replies to get lots of questions or to get almost no questions. You get to choose. I hope this video helps. If you know someone who's got a sugar pusher in their family or at the office where they work, feel free to share this video with them because it could really save the day. This is Dr. Barry. I'll see you next time.